Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to 10 amazing original first pressings from Thomas Busk private collection. Very interesting records and very interesting records I had the pleasure to listen to, and I want to introduce those and I want to share my experience and my impressions with those records. What I also will do is I put a link down into the video description for those of you who are interested in the records or want to know more about them. So you just look in the video description down below and you find a link to those records. Yeah, and let's start with an iconic label and an iconic artist. Let's start with Archie Shepp, Attica Blues. Here you go. Impulse, I think it's with the original inner sleeve. Here you can see the original inner sleeve. 1972, we have a soul jazz, free jazz album, which is quite special. It's a very tempting, beautiful, intensive listening, and Archie Shepp really did a great job. We also have a lot of soul elements. We have a lot of artists that participate in that record. I show it to you here on the gatefold. You can see how many artists are involved with this records. We have soul singers and wow, it's an impressive achievement and an impressive record from 1972. So if you are into this kind of music, this is a record you can definitely get into, and I can imagine that you really will enjoy this one. Second one is an artist we all do know, I'm quite sure. We're talking about Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. What we have here is The Good Son. And we have the US pressing from 1980. And yeah, what introduction does Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds needs nowadays? I think at that time Nick Cave already was at his best. Very emotional and immersive record. I mean, the voice of this guy is one of a kind. Very difficult to get the US pressing here. Excuse me, it's not the US pressing, it's the UK pressing. The letters are very small. We have it here in near mint condition, and yeah, an amazing record. Try it. I mean, as I said, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. What do you want more? Back to jazz music. And what we now have is the most expensive record in that video. Hence, probably the rarest record in this video. And we have the US first pressing from 1976 from the genius Nathan Davis, If. See also the record. Yeah, and that album is crazy good. On the second song of this record, on side 1, he goes so deep, so insanely deep with his instrument. I've never ever heard that on a jazz record. It's a funky, jazzy thing. And we have a promotional copy here. Again, very special. Brilliant. Didn't know the record, haven't heard the record, and I was extremely tempted by it. I was extremely happy with it. We have Nathan Davis, Abraham Laboriel, William Marcoux, George Caldwell, and Dave Palmer. Masterpiece. Very interesting. And the more I hear of and from Nathan Davis, the more I really appreciate him. I really do like him. Legendary guy. Yeah, the next record, again, probably extremely rare. I did not know that record from Anas Jelf Tretje. Here you have the record, or the jacket and the record. It's probably on a private pressing. It's from 1977 and it comes out of Sweden. And as I stated in the live stream I did it on the German channel, this record only has one mistake. It came 30 years too early. Really, if that record came out 30 years later, people would totally embrace it. It's like dark ambient. It's so eerie, spooky, immersive. Wow. It's difficult to put it into a genre. It's abstract, it's ambient. It's one thing for sure. It's extremely special. Brilliant record. You know, those records that Thomas Busk dig out are often breathtaking, and this is one of it. Anas Jelf Tretje. Yilago Fanfara is the title of the record, and catchy. Yeah. TNTH. French, 1971. Rock, funk, soul. Let's go, children of the country. Here you can see it, and I have to say, the first two tracks on side one are absolute highlights of funk rock. Very special. Makes this record extremely interesting on the Barclay label. The first two songs alone, in my personal opinion, are enough to love that record. Brilliant cover, of course, by the way. TNTH. Let's go, children of the country. French funk rock, prog rock, amazing. Next one. Next artist doesn't need any introduction, I think. We are talking about Scott Walker, Alona, US first pressing 1967. Beautiful cover art, really beautiful. And yeah, on that record, on that first pressing or the original, you have Scott Walker, not as crazy as he gets in later years, but already you can, or you get an idea that there is more to it. That there is more to this guy on that record, more than the Walker brothers. This is very interesting, amazing experience, and a wonderful record by Scott Walker, Alona. It comes on the Smash Records label. US first pressing 1967. Scott Walker. And now to one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time, and to one of his best records. Thomas Busk goes so far and says that that is his favorite record of him. I'm talking about Charles Mingus, and Charles Mingus is here on the wonderful Danish debut label. This record came out in 1963 and is called Chess. And I listened to that record, and yeah, it's for sure amongst the finest Mingus releases ever. Wonderful cover art, in my opinion. And as I said, it is on the debut label. You can see, can you see? Yeah, you can see that. This is a Danish jazz label that has quite some pearls and unbelievable releases on their label. Another brilliant one is I think it's Kenny Dorham in Europe. Wonderful. We have it in VG Plus condition here, so that is a very, very special Charles Mingus Quintet release. Next one, again an artist that does not need any introduction. It's from 1971. Van Morrison's Tupelo Honey. Here you go. You know, of course we are, or some of us are still under the impression of Astro Weeks and Moondance from analog production, but also this one from 71, the Tupelo Honey, is an amazing, beautiful record, and for sure worth to be in your collection on the Warner Brothers label. The one and only Van Morrison. Next one was a total surprise to me, because I did not expect that kind of music when it comes to the Vertigo label. And we have the UK first pressing from 1971 here. And we have Afrobeat, Azai. Here you see the wonderful jacket. I show you I get it out because it's really worth that beautiful gatefold cover is really worth showing. There you have the, of course, here you have the original inner sleeve, and I show you the gatefold jacket. Beautiful cover. And yeah, Afrobeat on the Vertigo label, but Afrobeat at its best, and the production value of that record, the sound, 10 out of 10. Brilliant, brilliant release by Azai. There is a second one, I also have that here in the vinyl room, but I want to concentrate, for at least for this video, on this one. Wow, wow. Wasn't aware of them until I got those copies, and that's for sure worth your time. Try to listen to it. Very, very interesting musical experience. Top title. Last one for today. Again, an artist that does not really need an introduction. The cover art is plain and simple, and it covers the title perfectly. Talking about Prince, the Black Album. Here you go. But this is not the very first pressing. This seems to be the second pressing. And you can see that the titles are not centered. See? On the other side, they are more or less centered, but those titles are not centered. And this is always a sign that this is not the very first pressing, hence the reasonable pricing. But musically, of course, Prince at its best. The Black Album, I remember when that album hit the streets, and there was one DJ here in Düsseldorf that has had this Black Album by Prince, and that was so exciting that he had a copy. Wow, you could not buy that, at least at the beginning. It was only for a few DJs, and he had it, and he played it in the Checkers Club here in Düsseldorf. And yeah, that was, of course, something extremely, extremely special. I remember it quite well. And now having this second, I think it's a second pressing, quite interesting, amazing. Yeah, that's it. Those are 10 examples of Thomas Busk's private collection we have physically here at the Vinyl Room, but we also have it available on the Vinyl Room online store. So if you're interested in one of those titles or two or whatever, check down the links in the video description. You can go immediately to the copy you're interested in. Okay. Thank you very much for your time and see you on the next one. Bye.